Yeah. So let me explain to you, introduce to you my audience in Hindi, and then we will start. Okay. तो हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं फ्लैट अर्थ डेविड वाइस, और ये वेस्टर्न जगत में काफी तगड़े फ्लैट अर्थर हैं, और इनकी वजह से बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो कि जिनको फ्लैट अर्थ की सच्चाई मालूम चली है, और आज हमारे मतलब चैनल के साथ ये जुड़ चुके हैं। बहुत ही खुशी की बात है। और ये हमें बताएंगे, कुछ चीजें एक्सप्लेन करेंगे फ्लैट अर्थ से संबंधित, और ये इंग्लिश में एक्सप्लेन करेंगे और मैं उसे हिंदी में ट्रांसलेट करूंगा। कुछ पॉइंट्स को देखते हैं, मजा आएगा। So welcome to our show, man. It's a great pleasure to have you.
Thank you for having me. And this is such an important topic because there's so much pride. Like here in America, we had pride when we went to the moon, but we never went to the moon.
Yeah. And I really appreciate, man, your efforts. Like all those graphics you put together, and the choice of your graphics and all this make many people like you are. I think you are the person that converted most people to the flat earth, like because even in Western community, I guess.
Okay, are your audience members flat earthers, or you have a mix?
Yeah, I have converted mostly into flat earther.
Okay, very good. Very good. But I want to just remember, are there any really good India flat earth channels, YouTube channels that I would like to add? Yeah, there's a lot, or no?
No, there are very few. You can count on fingers, and even those are like little bit information giving out there. Okay. Not complete information.
Okay. All right. So go ahead.
But we'll grow. Yeah, but we'll grow fast. I hope for the best. So you can start with the like general stuff like. So let's start with the Chandrayaan 3. Recently, India landed on the moon, man.
Yeah. So should I pause so you can translate every minute, or like how I don't want to talk too much.
You can complete. Yeah. You can complete the whole part, then I will translate.
All right. So when they showed it, they showed this graphic here. Now everyone knows this is fake, but this is all that they showed us as proof of the landing. So they might as well have just written a news article of all the data. You know, like, oh, we did it. This is an animation of the data that was coming back to us. But I have a question. What if the ship crashed? Did they have an animation of it crashing? Go ahead.
Yeah. तो ये बता रहे हैं कि भाई जो भी इन्होंने क्या कहते हैं, जो दिखाया ग्राफिक्स, वो ऐसा दिखाया था कि भाई वहां पे से जैसे कि वहां लैंड कर रहे हैं, यानी कि डाटा को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं, लेकिन असल में वो डाटा को रिप्रेजेंट कर नहीं रहा था, और जो ग्राफिक दिखाया था वो भी उसमें भी ढंग से पता नहीं लग पा रहा था. इवन द ग्राफिक दे शोड, इट डजंट सीम्स लाइक लैंडिंग. यू कैन सी इट्स नॉट लैंडिंग, इवन इट्स गोइंग अप एंड डाउन ओनली इन लूप.
Yeah, and there's more video when it was coming in for landing, and if you look at the times and the speeds, it's going like 17,000 miles an hour, or no, sorry, 3,500 miles per hour, and then 2 seconds later it's going 0 miles per hour, and then it's going, the speeds keep changing, and as it's getting closer, the size of the craters don't change. So it was put together very, very poorly. And, you know, the thing is, great, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. They've given us zero evidence that they went to the moon. Zero.
We know that the major part of this propaganda was this videographic video which they show, but the funny fact is they like spend very little amount of money on that thing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's very poor.
It's the same thing here in America. You know, they show you data, they show you visualizations, cartoons, and then everybody claps and applauds and high fives each other, and people get lost in the emotion, and they don't think, where's the proof of this? And the problem is, most people, and all over the world, India, America, there are good people, and they can't imagine a deception this big, a lie this big. They can't imagine that there's so many people in on it. Here's the thing. Not everybody in this room is in on it. Only some of the people. They're being fed data. Here in America, we interviewed someone that was in the control room for the Apollo landings, and he said, we've done so many simulations that when we did the real thing, I couldn't tell the difference. Okay? Translate that, please.
Yeah. तो ये बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे जो डाटा मतलब ये दिखाते हैं और सबसे पहले होता क्या है कि भाई सब लोग ताली बजाने लग जाते हैं, क्लैप करने लग जाते हैं कि लैंडिंग हो गई, और बाकी जो लोग सब इमोशनल हो जाते हैं। और ये इसरो चीफ को भी आप देखोगे, आई एम सेइंग दैट इवन द इसरो चीफ इज लाइक व्हेन दे स्टार्ट क्लैपिंग दे सडनली वेंट टू द माइक, नियर द mic and गिविंग स्पीचेस. It went very emotional, and even the prime minister came so fast out of nowhere. I don't know, he was waiting for this thing to happen. uh, Even his speech also started the instant it landed on the, and when it failed the last time when Chandrayaan 2 failed, so not even the prime minister was there, so I think it is all pre-planned. So this time they have to make it successful.
Right. And this is them supposedly orbiting excuse me, orbiting the moon. First thing is, look at the shape of the moon. It's like not even, they can't even get it round. And you have to believe, like, why does the moon look so different from when America went there, when India went there, when China went there? It always looks very, very different. And this is the best evidence they have that they landed on the moon, the best. And there's really nothing. I mean, come on, look at space movies. They do much better. They do much better graphics. So,
yeah, let me translate this. So ये बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे ये आप देखोगे इस फुटेज को भी, इस वीडियो को भी आप देखोगे, तो इसमें मतलब इन्होंने पूरा एक चंद्रमा सा काट दिया है, और ये हर बार जैसे नासा का जब लैंडिंग का तो उसमें चंद्रमा अलग दिखता है और इसमें अलग कलर का दिखता है, हर बार अलग क्यों दिखता है? और ये इससे मतलब कुछ भी प्रूव होता नहीं है एक्चुअलिटी में। ये मतलब जो स्पेस मूवीज भी बनाते हैं उसमें भी इससे बहुत तगड़े अच्छे ग्राफिक्स यूज किए जाते हैं। या
right. And then here's the thing. They show us that very, very fake, like 1970s, old video game footage. And everyone, they don't say that it's fake, but everyone knows that it's fake, right? And then later they show this. This is the rover, kind of looks like a briefcase to me, someone's briefcase on some wheels. And they roll that down onto the moon. And this is a real video. So people look at that and go, oh, before that was an animation, and now that's real footage. So their mind says, this is real. Before they didn't have a camera because, no one ever landed on the South Pole of the moon, and they showed us animation, but this is real video. Yes, this is real video, but it's not real video on the moon. This is done in a studio, right? If you ever go, let's say you go on a big trip, let's say you go to Hawaii. When you get there, do you take a picture of the ground? Take a picture of the ground and send it home. Hey, look, there's my feet and there's the ground. Don't you want to take a picture of, the stars and the earth and everything else if you're on the moon? But they show you this, and this is supposed to be proof. How come this thing doesn't tip over? Okay. This is literally a briefcase.
तो डेविस में बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे पहले इन्होंने एनिमेशन वीडियो दिखाया, उसके बाद इन्होंने ये दिखाया रियल फुटेज, ताकि लोगों को ऐसा लगे कि भाई उस टाइम पे तो कैमरा मौजूद नहीं था, लेकिन अब चंद्रमा पे कैमरा मौजूद है, तो देखो अब रियल फुटेज हम दिखा रहे हैं। तो ये मतलब एक उनका माइंड ट्रिक है, ऐसा गेम करने का तरीका। और इसमें भी देखो खाली ग्राउंड को दिखा रहे हैं, स्काई वगैरह कुछ नहीं दिखा रहे हैं। आई गेस डेव दे आर नॉट शोइंग द स्काई बिकॉज देन पीपल विल आस्क लाइक आर देयर स्टार्स और नॉट, बिकॉज that question will arise. So I think to play safe, they are showing only the ground.
They never show stars from the moon, and if the heliocentric model was real, we would see the sky would be filled with stars, because here on Earth we have to look through all the atmosphere, right? Get above that atmosphere. There's nothing hindering the light. It should be blinding, but they can't fake it. So they show none. And then they claim that it's the exposure on the camera. Okay. So I can take my iPhone 3, like one of the early iPhones, stand under a street light in a city and take a picture of a star that's right beyond the street light. So don't give me this exposure, thing. NASA, they could spend, I don't know, $200, $300 on a camera, and they won't do it, right? With today's camera technology, absolute insanity. So when you see stuff like this, and all you need to see is somebody clapping. Whoops, that's what I want to show you. Hold on a second. Where'd that go? How come that cut out there? There we go. Oh, so I wanted to throw this in. This is Russia landing on Mars. So it's not just India and America that are faking it. It's everyone. So don't be all, oh my God, my great country, they're lying to us. I don't even think you're the leader, the guy who's waving the flag. Is he your prime minister? What do you call him? What do you call him?
The prime minister.
Prime minister. I don't think he even knows. He's being fooled also. If you say, how can so many people be in on it? I don't think any of these people in this room know. I think they're all being fooled, being given data, and they're all just doing their job, and they think that they're making this great accomplishment, but in reality, they're fooling mankind. And if you can't see, like, who filmed this, by the way? Who's filming this on Mars? Okay. This is all that Russia showed as oh no, China. I'm sorry. This is China. That's China, not Russia. Okay. That's all that they showed. Right. And then this is Russia years ago. This is their moon rover. Look at that. So who's filming that? And what is this? It looks like a coffee cup with a lid on it. Okay. And this is the equipment that they're showing. This is what they're showing. I've seen better B movies than that. Go ahead.
तो डेविसन बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे ऐसा नहीं खाली इंडिया ही फेक कर रहा है, रशिया चाइना सब लोग फेक करते हैं। और जैसे अपना जो प्रधानमंत्री भी ऐसे झंडा हिला रहा था, तो वो मुझे नहीं लगता कि ये भी मतलब उसे पता होगा रियलिटी में, इन्हें भी कुछ पता नहीं है। और ये आप देखोगे जो आपको स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है, इसमें भी आप देख सकते हैं कि भाई ये जो इक्विपमेंट दिखा रहे हैं वो खाली एक मॉडल्स हैं, उसमें रियलिटी में कुछ कर नहीं रहे। ये देखो, और उसमें इसे फिल्म कौन कर रहा है, इसे पता नहीं कौन फिल्म कर रहा है, बिल्कुल मूवी की तरह नजर आ रहा है सब कुछ। Dave, a funny fact is that when they were the time which they like the ISRO official YouTube channel, they already wrote that we are Chandrayaan 3 soft landing live telecast even before they landed on the moon. Even before they soft landed on the moon, they already wrote the title, the Chandrayaan 3 soft landing live telecast, the ISRO's YouTube channel.
Right.
Like you can imagine, they already decided that.
It's all scripted. It's all nonsense. And I don't know if you know it, but Russia tried to land on the moon a week before India, and they crashed, right? And a lot of people that don't understand the fakery, they're like, why would they crash it? Why would it crash if they are faking it? That's to make it look more real. And then the globe defenders, this is a photograph of the moon before the Russian crash, and then that right there, that's after. And they lined it up, and they say this is proof that it crashed on the moon and created this debris field. Okay. Do you think that you could do this in a simple paint program? Not even Photoshop. I mean, I just take 2 pictures of the moon, make a little scratch on it, overlay them. And so this is what they have as proof that it crashed. If you can't see how this is simply a deception, I can't help you. Go ahead.
तो ये जो आपको ये स्क्रीन पे नजर आ रहा है, इसमें मतलब ये बताया था कि रशिया ने जो छोड़ा था मून का मिशन, और जो एयरक्राफ्ट छोड़ा था, उसका ये प्रूफ है कि भाई ये इन्होंने फोटो दिखाया था कि पहले कुछ नहीं था गड्ढा, और बाद में क्रैश के बाद ये गड्ढा नजर आया। तो ये इनका प्रूफ है, और ये मतलब आसानी से पेंट वगैरह किसी भी चीज में क्रिएट किया जा सकता है। ये कोई चीज का प्रूफ है नहीं, मतलब कोई भी छोटा मतलब ढंग का ग्राफिक डिजाइनर इसको 2 मिनट में बना सकता है। ये असल में किसी चीज का प्रूफ है नहीं।
So here's America when we landed on the moon. right? And inside of this thing was the dune buggy, okay? So this thing, right? This is the rover. Now, if you look at this, these are beach chairs, right? Well, where's the, hold on a second. I got a better picture. Rover. Oh, yeah. This is an umbrella, right? Beach chairs and regular blow up tires, right? Cost 38 million US dollars. 38 million. Okay. Come on.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं ये स्क्रीन पे जो आपको नजर आ रहा है इसमें मतलब ये जो दिखाया था इन्होंने कि जो बग्गी उसमें फिट हो गई थी तो वो फिट हो ही नहीं सकती और उसमें खाली एक चेयर वगैरह लगा दी है और एक छतरी सी लगा दी है। उसे बता रहे हैं कि इतना महंगा वो है तो वो खाली एक मॉडल है। और ये फ्लैट अर्थ डेव का ये ऐप है जिसे आप स्क्रीन पे देख रहे हैं। इसमें काफी सारी तस्वीरें हैं इसी से संबंधित और इसको आप प्ले स्टोर से भी डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं।
I was trying to find another image. Maybe it's not on the app. So the question is why would they lie? Why would all these countries lie about going to the moon? And it's all about deceiving you on where you are, the true power that we have, right? That we are at the center of creation. Okay. And they don't want us to know that. And I also have another belief. I believe that I don't know if you've looked into our past civilizations, from a few hundred years ago, there was an advanced civilization here. And in India, they're finding giant temples buried under the ground. Okay. Have you seen any of that stuff? You have? And so
yeah.
They don't want us to know that the world used to be way more advanced. And I think, how right now they're pushing climate change and we're overpopulated. In 1970, we had 4 billion people. Now we have 8 billion people and the world is unsustainable. That's baloney. Okay. That's nonsense. Because I think a few hundred years ago, there was hundreds of billions of people here on Earth. Because you can take every family on Earth and stick them in an acre on Australia, and half of Australia would be empty. Okay? Right? And if you had a quarter of an acre farm, you could feed 100 families. Okay? So don't say that the world is overpopulated, because it is not. It's underpopulated. And I think the reason they do that is because collectively, when we're all here and our minds are all working together, we become very powerful. I think the collective mind, when it gets over a certain number, we unlock amazing powers that they're hiding from us. Go ahead.
तो डेव से बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे ये लोग जो भी प्रोपेगेंडा करते हैं कि भाई ये वर्ल्ड ओवर पॉपुलेटेड है और असल में ऐसा है नहीं। इतनी जमीन है यहाँ पर कि भाई अगर मतलब आप सबको जमीन भी दोगे तो पूरा खाली ऑस्ट्रेलिया में आधे आधे जमीन पे ही सब लोगों का पेट भरा जा सकता है। उसके बाद बावजूद भी आधी जमीन खाली रह जाएगी। I love your statement when you say when they say the food scarcity is a hoax. When you say the rain will fall and the most beautiful rain will fall and plant will grow and that's a proof that food scarcity is a hoax.
I didn't quite get what your point.
I was saying that they propagate the funda like food scarcity and all that stuff. So and in reply to that you say rain will fall and you will just have to stuck a seed in the ground and it will grow automatically.
Yeah. I mean, we live in this amazing place where you give somebody one tomato, you can print hundreds of tomato plants from that will produce hundreds of tomatoes each. And it's this world is an amazing, abundant place. And there is no such thing as a food shortage. It's just a intelligence shortage.
Yeah. So you can show a few more graphics on flat Earth and.
Yeah, I just want to show one moon thing. So this is Americans supposedly on the moon. So the sun is over here and his shadow goes over here. Explain that. I'm going to take a little break. So explain that. Shadow goes over there. Go ahead. Tell people.
हाँ, तो ये बता रहे हैं कि भाई सूर्य इधर है और यहाँ की जो शैडो आपको दिख रही है यहाँ पे, ये इधर है। ये कैसे आप एक्सप्लेन करोगे?
So then he goes over here, and I'm just panning to the right, panning to the right, panning to the right. And now his shadow's going that way instead of that way. It's changed directions. Go ahead.
शैडो का देखो डायरेक्शन बदल गया, आप देख सकते हैं। ये जब इधर से इधर गया तो शैडो का डायरेक्शन बदल गया, थोड़ा सा, खाली 10 फुट आगे जाने पे ही।
Right. And now I'm panning to the right a little more, just going to the right a little more. And when I go over here, now his shadow's going the opposite direction.
अब इसमें देख सकते हैं इसकी शैडो का डायरेक्शन बिल्कुल अपोजिट हो गया। Dave, which is like, which footage is this, like Apollo mission or what?
This is the
This
Apollo
footage.
mission. This is America supposedly on the moon. You know, in 1960s, in 1970, we launched men to the moon. They played golf. They rode dune buggies, right? And now we can't get above low Earth orbit or low Earth orbit with a person. It's ridiculous, right? So let me just show you this now. So this is that same footage. Look here. See the two lights right there? Okay. So you see two lights in his visor, right? Tell the people. Go ahead.
इसके आप यहाँ पे देख सकते हैं, हेलमेट पे 2 लाइट आपको नजर आ रही हैं।
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then when he turns, you're going to see 4 lights, right? So here he goes. He's going to turn, and now watch. 1, 2. This is the reflection. 3, 4. Boom.
हम्म।
See the 4 lights, right? So
हाँ,
what is that reflecting? What is that reflecting? And the answer is maybe something like this. Here are the lights. Go ahead.
तो ये हकीकत है इनकी, मतलब आप देख सकते हैं कि ये मतलब स्टूडियो लाइट्स में आप मतलब हेलमेट पे भी देख सकते हैं, वो रिफ्लेक्ट करता है। तो ये इनकी हकीकत है। यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं, ये हेलमेट पे लाइट रिफ्लेक्शन आपको नजर आ रहा होगा। ये देखिए, इसके हेलमेट पे, सिर के ऊपर, तो स्टूडियो लाइट का रिफ्लेक्शन वो आपको नजर आ रहा होगा।
And in America, right? This is an old Jeep chassis. Remember, an umbrella, beach chairs, $38 million back in 1970, right? And today, for $1 million less, you can buy this. Okay. Nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to put it together because, again, people are good. They have a hard time understanding the deception. Go ahead.
इसमें आप देख सकते हैं, इस तस्वीर में नीचे वाला जो चीज है, जो बग्गी है इनकी, ये 38 मिलियन की है और ऊपर वाली 37 मिलियन की है। और ये देख सकते हैं कि ऊपर वाला वास्तव में जो एक्चुअल कॉस्ट है, और नीचे वाला ये जो है इन्होंने ऐसी, मतलब एक जाहिर सी बात है, ऐसी कुछ भी बना दिया है। और इसकी टोटल कॉस्ट, छतरी वतरी कुर्सी कुर्सी लगाओगे तो बहुत कम है। तो ये इनका मतलब, उस टाइम पे भी लोगों ने बिलीव कैसे कर लिया कि इतना सारा ये इतना महंगा होगा।
Right. Here is this is the lander on Americans, and there's 2 men in here, right? The nozzle is down here, but when it goes, where's the nozzle? Nozzle's down there. So it's just gliding, and it's going to meet the orbiter. It's going to meet up with the orbiter that's orbiting at a couple thousand miles an hour around the moon. It's just going to meet, and they're going to put it together, and they're going to fly back to Earth. Okay. And who panned?
Apollo 11.
Who panned?
This is like which mission?
What's that? This is like Apollo 11, I think. One of the Apollo missions.
Okay.
So go ahead.
इसमें आप देख सकते हैं, जब ये ऊपर उड़ता है, तो इसमें से नीचे से कुछ वो भी नहीं लग रहा निकल रहा। ये देखिए, कुछ निकल नहीं रहा, धुआं भी, और जो जो कि उसे ऊपर प्रोपेल कर सके, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी ये अपने आप उड़ता जा रहा है। तो ये इन्होंने दिखाया था अपोलो मिशन की रियल फुटेज के तौर पर। तो देख सकते हैं कितना फेक है ये।
There you go. All right. What else you want to talk about?
We can like talk about like on flat earth, something on flat earth.
What's the number one question your people have? What objection do they have? What don't they understand?
They are the most people answer a question like why are they lying? This is the major question.
Why the
Why
lie?
are they?
So how many of your people speak English? Do many of them understand English? I can't hear you. You're muted.
You can say like almost half people understand English.
Okay. Um,
50%.
on my app, right on the question mark page, there's Why the Lie right here, and there's great videos that YouTube is hiding from you. That when you search for them, you won't find them. And the purpose is the people that run this world are not good people; they're evil people, and they want to control humanity. They don't want us knowing that we have our God-given free will, that there's abundance, that there's free energy, right? Imagine if you didn't have to pay for electricity or gas. Okay, just start with that, because energy is free. There's free energy everywhere. Nikola Tesla invented the Tesla Tower that was broadcasting free energy, and anybody could pick it up and use it. Okay, but they didn't want that because they don't like the word free. They want to be able to control people with energy and food. So they have people not understanding that they can grow their own food, and not understanding that there is free energy. And by keeping you scared and lost and working in their slave system, they have spiritual control over you.
तो डेव बता रहे हैं कि भाई ये जो मतलब प्रोपेगेंडा है वो इसलिए कि मतलब फ्री एनर्जी हाइड कर सकें, और मतलब लोगों को कुछ भी सच्चाई ना पता लगे। तो ये सारी चीजें इन्होंने स्कैरसिटी, नकली स्कैरसिटी और ये सारा प्रोपेगेंडा इस तरीके से बना रखा है।
They don't want us to know that there was a very advanced civilization here, maybe just 100, 150 years ago. They want us to believe, 150 years ago, people with horse and buggies and no power tools built these incredible cities and cathedrals and all of this crazy stuff, but they don't want you to know it. And so they make up crazy stories. There's, back in the early 1900s, there was these world fairs, and these world fairs were incredible structures. And the story is they built it in 2 years' time, and then they had the fair for 6 months. Millions and millions of people show up out of nowhere. Like, where did they come from? And then they tear it down. Here is in San Francisco, right? This is the World's Fair. They supposedly built it in 1915, but in 1878, we have a picture that shows, it's hard to see here, that it was already built. So there goes their entire narrative. Okay, these structures were built before 1800, and when you watch the World's Fairs, you'll see these incredible structures that we couldn't build today, and they're supposedly built just months ago. But there's old growth trees. There's like trees that are hundreds of years old growing in between the buildings. Okay, so again, the whole thing, it's all about controlling, not letting you know that there is a much richer past. They don't want us. They want us just to be their slaves in their system and live in poverty. There's a lot of poverty in India, and that is by design. They don't want people understanding that there is great abundance on this earth, and they want it all for themselves.
तो डेव बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे आप देख सकते हैं, जो तस्वीर आपके सामने नजर आ रही है 1915 की, ये लोग बताते हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअलिटी में जो पिछली तस्वीर थी वो, उसमें भी वो तस्वीर पुरानी में नजर आ रही है। और ये जो पास्ट हमारी सिविलाइजेशन थी काफी रिच थी, और ये हमसे हाइड करना चाहते हैं कि भाई हम पहले ऐसे ही गरीब थे, और मतलब इस तरीके से पहला हमारा जो पास्ट था वो ग्लोरियस था नहीं। ये इनका दिखाने का तरीका है, जबकि हमारा मतलब पास्ट में भी ऐसी रिच सिविलाइजेशन थी। तो हमें मतलब बिल्कुल ही लेस पावरफुल दिखाने का ये इनका फॉर्मूला है।
Right here in America, our capital is Washington, D.C., and back in the 1800s, our Capitol, our Lincoln Memorial building, one of our big buildings, was already here. It was already here. So they're lying. There was a thing called the mud flood. I don't know if it was worldwide at all the same time, whatever, but everywhere in every country, in every city, there are buildings underground that were buried in some catastrophic event. Now, just thinking about a giant mud flood, I don't see how that could work on a spinning ball. On a flat earth, sure, right? Open up the skies above, let the oceans come in, and you have mud everywhere, right? And then things will just be buried and forgotten. You could be right now on top of an entire city below your feet, and you would never know it. You would never stumble upon it unless you somehow have the ability to dig down into the earth. Many construction projects, they find, like buildings underneath where they were about to build. And and then they try to hide the information. They make up stories. They say it was part of a slave smuggling ring. They make up complete and total nonsense. Like, we couldn't build this stuff today. Like, how did they get this stuff back here in 1600 or whenever that was built? Good.
तो बता रहे हैं कि भाई जैसे ये जो क्या कहते हैं, ये जो है इधर, ये जो बनना है, ये मतलब मड फ्लड पहले होते थे, और जो क्या कहते हैं, यानी कि जो पहले मतलब मड में, हाँ ये आप देख सकते हैं, ये मड में सारी चीजें हैं, और जो कंस्ट्रक्शन भी होता है वो आप देख सकते हैं कि भाई इस कंस्ट्रक्शन के नीचे भी, पहले जब ये कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टार्ट करते हैं तो उसके नीचे भी पहले से कंस्ट्रक्शन मिलता है। तो पहले इससे सिद्ध होता है कि जो सिविलाइजेशन थी पहले भी थी मौजूद, और ये मड मड फ्लड इसमें ये इसका महत्वपूर्ण पार्ट है।
Right here in America, they were digging out a foundation for a building, and they found out that this street was on top of a building. Okay? They didn't even know the building was underneath the street. So what event happened that can make people forget about that? Right? And if you look back at some of these old pictures, these are cities that are being dug out. There's mud everywhere, but these old buildings are all here, but they're being dug out.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं ये सब बिल्डिंग है, ये सब मतलब इनके आधे आधे ये जो खिड़कियां हैं आधी आधी मड में कवर्ड हैं, और ये दोबारा जब खोदा तो ऐसे मिल गई थी। तो ये which place is this, like mud flood? This picture is which place?
It's a mud flood picture. I'm not sure what city it is. I'm not sure what city it is. But they want you to believe back when nobody had power tools, they had horses and buggies, that this building was built. Like, what is going on here? All right. So I'm just trying to stick with why the lie. And the lie is to keep us depowered, to keep us scared, to keep us weak, to keep us, these people that are running this world, they're evil, and they understand the spiritual war that we're in. And most people don't understand that that's even a thing. That's how they get away with it. When they use rituals and spells and all sorts of stuff to control the minds of the people, and it works pretty well because people are just ignorant to it, and they're like, well, I've got my job, and I get a week off every year to go on vacation, and they think working every day, come home, watch a movie, have dinner with your kids if you're lucky, and then go to bed and go back to work the next day. That's life, and then when you're old, you have a little bit of money saved, maybe, and you get to retire. That's not what life is. That's not what we were put here for. We're put here to explore and share and expand the mind of the creator.
Like, Dave, there is a thing like when they say some people say like that human eyes can see up to 20 kilometers. Is that true? Like, about the human eye vision?
Say that again. Human eyes can what?
Human eyes can see like up to 20 kilometers only.
Well,
is that true?
Well, I think we can see farther, but the problem is air density. Even on the clearest of day, the air becomes opaque over distance. However, the higher up you are, the clearer the air is, the less moisture there is, the thinner the atmosphere, and you can see farther. For example, here's a picture from the top of a mountain, and these little white things here, these are 7 different mountains, or 8 different mountains, okay? There's 8 mountains, and they're over 700 miles away. Using the Earth curve calculator, if we're on a ball Earth, there has to be curvature. The tops of these mountains should be over 40 miles below the curve, okay? There's no other explanation to see them other than the Earth is flat.
हाँ, इस पिक्चर में आप देख सकते हैं कि भाई ये 7 माउंटेन्स हैं, और ये सभी माउंटेन्स की पीक्स हमें आसानी से नजर आ रही हैं। और जबकि जो अगर हम अर्थ का जो कर्वेचर है उसके हिसाब से अगर देखेंगे तो ये सभी इनकी जो पीक्स है सभी मतलब इसमें छुप जानी चाहिए थी अर्थ के कर्वेचर में, लेकिन सभी की पीक्स आप देख सकते हैं। और जितनी जितनी दूरी है ये आप देख सकते हैं, कोई 1000 से भी ज्यादा किलोमीटर दूर ये सारे माउंटेन्स की पीक्स हमें नजर आ रही हैं। और ये तभी पॉसिबल है कि जब अर्थ फ्लैट है, क्योंकि अगर अर्थ ग्लोब की तरह होता तो ये कभी भी हमें ऐसा नजर नहीं आता। तो इससे क्लियरली प्रूफ हो जाता है ये चीज कि अर्थ फ्लैट है।
There's many examples of distant mountains that should be miles and miles and miles below the curve, but when the air is clear, you can see them. Although a globe believer, an indoctrinated globe believer, if there's a day where you can't see it because it's foggy, you know, the air is thicker, they go, oh, Earth is curved. But then when they see it, they're like, oh, magical refraction. It's really behind the curve, but it's fracting up and stopping at eye level. That never happens. There is a thing called refraction where things get blurred or moved or pushed down, but nothing comes up from behind a physical curve and magically stops at eye level.
इस तस्वीर में आप देख सकते हैं कि ये लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं, जो ग्लोब वाले हैं वो लोग ऐसा बोलते हैं कि भी रिफ्रैक्शन की वजह से हमें नजर आ रहा है, मतलब कुछ भी उन्हें शब्द घुमा के फेंकना है, रिफ्लेक्शन, रिफ्रैक्शन। लेकिन असलियत में मतलब इनके पास इस चीज का कोई जवाब नहीं होता कि भाई नजर आ कैसे रहा है। तो इससे क्लियरली प्रूव होता है कि अर्थ फ्लैट है, और ये कुछ भी मतलब इनका आंसर दे देते रहते हैं, लेकिन इसका कोई मतलब है नहीं, रिफ्रैक्शन वगैरह जो बोलते हैं।
I'm going to show you another one, and I'm going to do short little sentences, and you're going to repeat them really fast. Okay. So here's a spot in Illusia, France. We're looking out, and 175 miles away is Mount Canigou. Go ahead.
इसमें आप देख सकते हैं 150, हाउ मच माइल्स?
175 miles.
175 माइल माउंट कैनगू है, जो आपको अभी नजर नहीं आ रहा होगा।
Can't see it, and you because it's supposed to be behind the curve, but you can't see it. Go ahead.
ये मतलब इनका जो तथाकथित जो कर्व है उसके पीछे छुप चुका है अभी, लेकिन इसलिए आपको नजर नहीं आता, लेकिन अभी देखना।
The reason you can't see it is because the light that's bouncing off of it isn't strong enough to push through 175 miles to your eyes. Go ahead.
तो ये हमें इसलिए नजर नहीं आ रहा क्योंकि इससे जो लाइट रिफ्लेक्ट होकर आ रही है वो इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं है कि मतलब वो 175 माइल तक भी हमारी आंखों में जा सके।
But twice a year, the sun lines up with the viewing spot and the mountain. And when it goes beyond the mountain, it backlights the mountain. And there it is. The very top of this mountain should be over a half a mile below the curve.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कभी कभी 2 बार ऐसा होता है साल में कि जो ऐसा व्यू मतलब पॉइंट बनता है कि जो सूर्य है उसकी जो किरणें हैं वो पीछे से रिफ्लेक्ट होकर हमें आंखों तक नजर आ पाती हैं। तो आप देख सकते हैं 175 माइल ही हमसे दूर है, उसके बावजूद भी हमें नजर आ रहा है। तो इससे प्रूव होता है कि भाई ये चीज जो है अर्थ फ्लैट है।
So this is just the sun going beyond the mountain. Just like if my hand was above your eye level, which it is, but in the distance, it kind of looks like it's at your eye level. And when the sun goes away, it's not going down, it's just going beyond something that's above your eye level.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि ये सूर्य जो है खाली पीछे जा रहा है, हमसे दूर जा रहा है, और हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो नीचे जा रहा है। तो ये परसेप्शन का खेल है सारा।
Very good. Here, let's go over this. We'll go this. All right. So this is a grid of perspective. The ground goes up, the top goes down, the sides go in. This is how our eyes work. Go ahead.
ये हमारा पर्सपेक्टिव का ग्रिड है। आप देख सकते हैं कि जो भी चीजें हैं ऊपर से भी नीचे की तरफ मतलब से इधर जा रहा है, नीचे से भी इधर जा रहा है, और साइड से भी इधर जा रहा है। ये तरीका है, ये ग्रिड दर्शाता है कि किस प्रकार से हमारी जो ह्यूमन आईज है वो देखती हैं।
So we have a viewer. His eye is right here at this level. Go ahead.
तो ये आप देख सकते हैं व्यूअर है, इसकी आंखें इस लेवल पर हैं, और ये सेंट्रल जो लाइन है उस लेवल पर है।
So I put a mountain in front of him, and this mountain is thousands of feet above his head. Go ahead.
तो ये जो आप देख सकते हैं, इन्होंने यहाँ पे एक माउंटेन की तस्वीर लगा दी जो कि थाउजेंड्स ऑफ फीट इसके सिर के ऊपर निकल रहा है जो माउंटेन।
All right. I have the sun here, and I move the sun just away, and it looks like it's going down due to perspective, but it's just going beyond the mountain. So right now, you know that the sun isn't below the horizon, it's just beyond the mountain. Go ahead.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं ग्रेड ग्रेड की मदद से इन्होंने क्या करा, अभी जो सूर्य दिखाया वो खाली इन्होंने पीछे की तरफ यानी कि अवे करा, इस ऑब्जर्वर से खाली अवे करा, लेकिन इस ऑब्जर्वर को ऐसा नजर आ रहा है कि भाई ये नीचे जा रहा है, नीचे जा रहा है। तो ये हमारी तरीका है जिससे ये तरीका है जिससे हमारी आंखें देखती हैं।
So we'll leave the sun right where it is. where he is, and let's say we just move that mountain into the distance. Now, I'm not lowering the mountain, I'm just moving it away, and due to perspective, it gets smaller, right? Fill in the sides, fill in the foreground. And so now this mountain right here is thousands of feet above his eye level, but to him, it looks like it's at his eye level. Go ahead.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं ये खाली इस माउंटेन को हमने दूर करा है, इससे काफी दूर ले गए हैं, लेकिन अब दूर ले जाने की वजह से हुआ क्या कि भाई असल में तो माउंटेन मतलब इसके सिर से काफी ऊंचा है, लेकिन क्योंकि बहुत दूर से ऐसा देख रहा है तो इसे ऐसा लग रहा है कि हमें मतलब ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये इसके सिर से भी नीचे है माउंटेन। तो ये तरीका है कि पर्सपेक्टिव कैसे काम करता है।
So then we can let the sun continue its journey away. It goes away, just following that line, and it's not going down, it's going beyond. You have to remember that this horizon is at his eye. It looks like it's at his eye level, but it's thousands of feet above his head, and the sun looks like it goes down. But
तो आप देख सकते हैं कि भाई ये जो होराइजन है जो इसके आई लेवल पे नजर आ रहा है, लेकिन असल में इसका जो टॉप है माउंटेन का ये मतलब असल में तो बहुत ऊंचा है ना इससे, तो लेकिन ये दूर है तो इसलिए हमें ऐसा छोटा नजर आ रहा है। और जब आप देखते हैं सन जब इससे दूर जा रहा है तो हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो नीचे जा रहा है।
so
हम्म।
so now we'll add clouds. So now we have the cloud deck, which is above the mountain but below the sun. Good.
तो आप देखें इन्होंने मतलब इस चित्र में क्लाउड्स को भी ऐड कर दिया है जो कि माउंटेन से आगे है, माउंटेन से ऊंचे हैं लेकिन इसके हेड से नीचे हैं।
So as the clouds go into the distance, they also compact into what appears to be his eye level. But we know that this mountain here is thousands of feet above his head, and these clouds are thousands of feet above the mountain, but they all come together from our perspective. Go ahead.
तो आप देख सकते हैं जैसे ये जो क्लाउड्स का तस्वीर आपको समझ में आ रही है, ये इसमें देख सकते हैं जैसे जैसे दूर के क्लाउड्स हैं वो ऐसा लग रहा है कि हॉराइजन में मिल गए, मतलब कंप्रेस हो गए, लेकिन हकीकत हमें पता है कि भी हकीकत में तो ऐसा है नहीं। हकीकत में तो जो माउंटेन है वो भी इसके सिर से बहुत ऊंचा है और जो क्लाउड्स हैं वो भी इसके सिर से बहुत ऊंचे हैं, लेकिन हमारी आइज ऐसा देखती है कि दूर की वस्तु को जब देखती है तो कंप्रेस कर देती है चीजों को, इस चित्र के माध्यम से आप देख सकते हैं।
So now we just move the sun, let it go away, not going down, it's just going away. And you'll see that it goes beyond. Now, this horizon here, remember, this mountain was a couple thousand feet above his head, but we also have a atmospheric cloud deck horizon, or just the atmosphere itself becomes opaque, and it creates another horizon thousands of feet above the mountain. But again, it still looks like it's at his eye level in the distance. So the sun, which is above that, is just going into the distance, going beyond it. And you've been brainwashed into think that we're on a spinning ball and it's going down because we're falling over backwards faster than the speed of sound.
तो आप देख सकते हैं इसमें खाली जो एटमॉस्फेयर का जो कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि आपके और सूर्य के बीच में जो एटमॉस्फेयर है वो भी मतलब एक डेक बना लेता है, उसके पीछे भी जो है सूर्य जो है वो छुप जाता है, लेकिन हमें इन लोगों ने ऐसा बिलीव करवाया है कि भाई हम जो है घूमती गेंद के ऊपर पीछे की तरफ गिर रहे हैं और इसलिए हमें सूर्यास्त दिखता है। Dave, if this like sun is going away, one may ask like why is the size of the sun is not going smaller?
That's a great
that much.
So here we go. So we'll do this the same way. Here's a man standing here, and here is a train, which is right at his eye level. And as the train goes away, due to perspective, it gets smaller. Go ahead.
देख सकते हैं इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि ये ट्रेन जो है पर्सपेक्टिव की वजह से स्मॉल होती जा रही है, जबकि इसके आई लेवल पे थी तो वो स्मॉल होती जा रही है।
Okay. So the train gets smaller, and that's due to perspective. However, this is a terrestrial object, right? It's a hallway. These lines are all parallel, but look here. These look like they're going down, but they're really all parallel. Go ahead.
तो आप देख सकते हैं जिस एंगल से हम ये देख रहे हैं लाइंस, ये सभी लाइंस पैरेलल हैं, लेकिन जब हम इस एंगल से देख रहे हैं तो हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि ऊपर की जो लाइंस है वो नीचे की तरफ जा रही है, मर्ज हो रही है, लेकिन असल में सभी हैं पैरेलल ही।
Your perception sees them going down, but you know that they're parallel because this is a physical hallway. So again, this is how we see, but They are parallel. These are almost straight down here. Go ahead.
तो आप देख सकते हैं सभी लाइंस तो पैरेलल हैं, लेकिन जैसी जो ऊपर की लाइंस हमें ऐसे दिख रहा है कि बिल्कुल नीचे जा रही हैं ऐसा, लेकिन असल में हम हमें रियलिटी में पता है कि सभी पैरेलल लाइंस हैं.
Okay. So let me just go a little farther here. And so here is the sun as it goes away, and it looks like it's going down, just like those lines. And here is a view from behind the viewer. This is a side view. No one ever really sees this, but this is what he sees. And what he sees is the sun is going away, and it looks like it's going down. Okay? Go ahead.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं दो व्यू आपको नजर आ रहे हैं सूर्यास्त के. जो लेफ्ट वाला व्यू है वो है कि भाई जो आदमी जो देखता है कि सन नीचे जा रहा है, यानी कि आदमी के पीछे अगर आप खड़े हो तो वो व्यू है लेफ्ट वाला. और राइट वाला व्यू आप देखोगे ये साइड का व्यू है जो कोई देखता नहीं है. और असल में मतलब जैसा आपको दिखाया था हमने इससे पहली वाली तस्वीर में कि जो लाइंस थी वो थी तो सभी पैरेलल हॉरिजॉन्टल के पैरेलल थी, लेकिन उस एंगल से हमें ऐसा नजर आ रहा था कि वो नीचे जा रही थी. तो ये ऐसा मतलब ये व्यू है जो हम देख नहीं पाते हैं, लेकिन हकीकत में ऐसा हमें दिखता है.
All right. So now I'm going to make an analogy. We have the train car, and if we move the train car up high, it's already small. Okay. And as it goes away, it doesn't get any much smaller. Maybe a tiny little bit, but not much. Okay. Go ahead.
तो इस चित्र में आप देख सकते हैं कि क्योंकि ये जो ट्रेन है ना ऊपर जब ले गए हम तो इसका साइज छोटा हो गया, बट जैसे ही इधर दूर जाती है तो साइज में उतना फर्क नहीं आता है.
All right. So it doesn't get any smaller because it's already been reduced. So right here, I have a wiffle ball, and then 6 feet away, there's another one, and it's much smaller due to perspective. Go.
तो आप देख सकते हैं कि दोनों का साइज सेम है, लेकिन पर्सपेक्टिव की वजह से हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो 6 फुट दूर जो बॉल है वो कितनी छोटी है.
Okay. So that's like the train on the ground. You got the train close and far, and it gets smaller. But if we lifted that up, I'm going to lift the camera straight up above this ball. Okay. And as I lift the camera up, what we see, and I'm not getting any closer to this, the balls become almost the same size. So if I rolled this ball along this track, it wouldn't get much smaller. It wouldn't shrink very much. Go ahead.
हाँ, तो आप इसमें देख सकते हैं जैसे ही कैमरा को ऊपर उठाया तो भाई दूसरा जो पर्सपेक्टिव से हमने देखा तो पता लग गया हमें कि दोनों जो बॉल्स थी उनका साइज बिल्कुल सेम है. और उसके बावजूद भी अगर आप मतलब उस एंगल से अगर आप देखोगे और इधर वाली यानी कि पास वाली जो बॉल है उसको दूसरी बॉल की तरफ भी ले जाओगे तो साइज में ज्यादा डिफरेंस नजर नहीं आएगा. तो ये रीजन है कि भाई सूर्य जो है हमें जब दूर भी जाता है तो साइज में उतना श्रिंक होता हुआ नजर नहीं आता है.
Right. So the question is, there is a little bit of a difference in the size, but when you are looking at the sun near the horizon, you're looking through all of the atmosphere. When you're looking at the sun up in the air, you're looking through a little bit of atmosphere. When you're looking up, you're looking through this much atmosphere. When you're looking across, you're looking through all the atmosphere, right? And that atmosphere acts like a lens. So as the sun is getting smaller, it will reflect, it'll magnify it and make it look a little bigger sometimes. Go ahead.
तो आप देख सकते हैं कि भाई जैसे जो सूर्य है वो क्या कि जब आप उसे छुपता हुआ देखते हैं तो पूरा बीच में एटमॉस्फेयर काफी जो लेयर है वो काफी बड़ी हो जाती है, लेकिन जब सूर्य ऊपर होता है स्काई की तरफ तो एटमॉस्फेयर काफी थिन रहता है. तो इस वजह से जब जब आप हॉरिजॉन्टल की तरफ देखते हैं, हॉराइजन की तरफ देखते हैं सनसेट को, तो बीच में क्योंकि एटमॉस्फेयर है वो लेंस की तरह काम करता है जो कि उसे मैग्नीफाई कर देता है, इसलिए हमें वो नीचे जाते टाइम कभी कभी उसे मैग्नीफाई कर देता है.
So this was filmed in Afghanistan on a very cool, dry. I'm not sure it was cool, but it was very dry. And the sun is getting smaller as it's going away. It's not going down. It should be going down, but it's clearly just going away, getting smaller. There's a famous American song by the Beatles called "The Fool on the Hill," and the lyrics say, "The fool on the hill sees the sun going down, but the eyes in his head see the world spinning round." So they kind of know in music. Go ahead.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं अफगानिस्तान की ये वीडियो फुटेज है, और यहाँ पे जो क्लाइमेट था वो काफी ड्राई था, यानी कि एटमॉस्फेयर में काफी मतलब ऐसा बीच में कम एटमॉस्फेयर था, तो उस वजह से उसने मैग्नीफाई नहीं करा। और इस वीडियो में हम देख सकते हैं जैसे ही सूर्य दूर जा रहा है, क्लियरली हमें दिख रहा है, दूर जाते हुए उसका साइज भी कम होते हुए नजर आ रहा है, क्योंकि उस टाइम उसने, क्योंकि ड्राई एटमॉस्फेयर था तो उसने मैग्नीफाई नहीं करा होता। लेकिन नॉर्मली क्या होता है, क्योंकि एटमॉस्फेयर काफी बीच में रहता है, ड्राई एटमॉस्फेयर मतलब ड्राई नहीं रहता, तो उस वजह से हमें काफी मैग्नीफाई नजर आता है वो, मतलब इसलिए हमें साइज उसका छोटा नहीं नजर आता।
There's also another thing. When you're looking at the moon or the sun on the horizon, it looks bigger than it actually is. Now, the sun, it's hard to look straight at the sun because of the glare, but the moon is a lot easier. So the next time there's a full moon, you know how you see the full moon on the horizon, you're like, wow, it's so big. And then you take a picture of it and it looks very small. Okay. It's not that big. It's your mind that's fooling you. And what you can do, this sounds crazy, turn around backwards, look at the moon upside down through your legs, and it will look small because it short circuits your mind and the illusion is broken.
तो आप मतलब दिस वाज अ ब्यूटीफुल पॉइंट लाइक द मून वन। तो डेव बता रहे हैं कि भाई आप मून को जैसे होराइजन पे आप देखोगे, तो होराइजन पे सन या मून होता है, तो वो उसका साइज हमें बड़ा नजर आता है एक्चुअलिटी में, रियल साइज से बड़ा नजर आता है। और वो इसलिए है क्योंकि जैसे सन को तो आप इतना ऑब्जर्व नहीं कर सकते, ग्लेयर ज्यादा होता है, तो मून राइज आप कभी देखना, मून को जब मून उदय होता है, मून जब राइज कर रहा होता है, तो कितना बड़ा नजर आता है। और वो इस वजह से होता है क्योंकि हम एटमॉस्फेयर की तरफ देख रहे होते हैं, बीच में काफी सारा एटमॉस्फेयर रहता है, जिस वजह से मैग्नीफाई हो जाती है चीजें। और अगली बार आपको क्या करना है कि आपको क्या मुर्गा बन के सूर्य चंद्रमा को देखना है, तो आपको साइज छोटा नजर आएगा, उल्टा ऐसा आप सिर झुका के ऐसा देखोगे, तो वो इसलिए होता है क्योंकि माइंड को ऐसा शॉर्ट सर्किट कर देता है, वो इमेज एक ट्रिकल कर देती है।
Here's an example of atmospheric magnification, right? We have this is representing the atmosphere. And as we move away or move things away, it looks like the ship is going down, but it's still on the table. It's still on this perfectly flat table, right? This is how things appear to disappear over the horizon.
तो इसमें इन्होंने मतलब जो एटमॉस्फेयर का जो वो रहता है उसका एग्जांपल देने की कोशिश करी है, कि बीच में ग्लेंस लगाने की कोशिश करी है कि किस तरीके से एटमॉस्फेयर हम सी करते हैं। तो जब ये चीजें हमसे दूर जा रही हैं, इस वीडियो में आप देखोगे जैसी वो वस्तु हमसे दूर जा रही है, तो हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि नीचे जा रही है, लेकिन वो खाली उस फ्लैट टेबल के ऊपर ही सिर्फ दूर जा रहा है हमसे।
Yeah, not just another example. Looks like the sun's going down. It's just pulling away.
इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि ये भी फ्लैट टेबल के पीछे खाली सिर्फ दूर ले जा रहे हैं, और हमें ऐसा कैमरा से ऐसा लग रहा है, जब हम इस एंगल से देख रहे हैं तो हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि सन जो है नीचे जा रहा है, लेकिन असल में वो खाली दूर जा रहा है।
Let's go back to perspective for a moment. So all of these streetlights are at the same height, but due to perspective, they look like they're going down. Okay, so here we have a man, and his horizon's over here, and you have a cloud above him. Go ahead.
आप देख सकते हैं कि जैसे ये एक साइड व्यू हमने दिखाया है, ये इसका हॉराइजन है, हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन है, और इसके ऊपर एक क्लाउड है।
Right. And so if I put a whole bunch of clouds in the sky and I move them far away, they look like they're going down, but they're all sitting at the same level. And then 20, 30 miles away, they will literally merge with the horizon. Okay. Go ahead.
साइड व्यू से हम देख सकते हैं कि अगर हम और भी क्लाउड्स को नजर इसमें लगा दें, तो बाकी जो क्लाउड्स है वो ऐसा लग रहा है कि भाई इससे हॉराइजन से मिल रहा है, लेकिन असलियत में है वो सभी क्लाउड्स जो हैं एक ही लेवल पर है, एक ही हॉरिजॉन्टल लेवल पर है।
So if I pulled a string from his eye to that cloud, he would see that string going straight up, almost straight up in the air. But if I drew a line or pulled a string from his eye to this cloud over here, this man would see the string going parallel over the water to the cloud. Go ahead.
तो इसमें आप देख सकते हैं, अगर एक इससे इस व्यक्ति से और इस क्लाउड के बीच में एक रस्सी को लगा दिया जाए, एक स्ट्रिंग को लगा दिया जाए, तो वो व्यक्ति ऐसा देखेगा कि भाई क्लाउड उसके बिल्कुल सिर के ऊपर नजर आएगा, लेकिन जब वो सामने उसी क्लाउड को देखता है तो वो बिल्कुल से सीधा देखता है, क्योंकि वो असल में पर्सपेक्टिव की वजह से जो क्लाउड था वो हॉराइजन पे मिक्स हो गया था, मर्ज हो गया था।
So, what would happen if you were standing underneath this cloud and could see this string? Would you see a string going level across the water? No, you would see a string high up, sloping down to this man in the distance.
हाँ, तो हम इसमें देख सकते हैं कि जो लेफ्ट वाला बंदा है, इसे तो वो क्लाउड बिल्कुल जमीन से चिपका हुआ नजर आता है, लेकिन अगर आप उस क्लाउड के नीचे जाके खड़े हो जाओगे तो आप देखोगे कि भाई वो क्लाउड तो बहुत ऊपर है। तो उससे समझ में आती है कि भाई हमारी आंखें किस प्रकार से देखती हैं दूर की चीजों को।
So if you're so you're underneath the cloud, right? We'll extend this guy's view, right? So you see this line going down. This man sees a line going straight across because this cloud looks like it's on the horizon. So this cloud is blocking his view of anything that goes on this side of the line, right? So as the sun moves across the sky, for this man, he's going to see the sun get blocked by where this cloud is. So he will not be able to see anything beyond that. Go ahead.
इसमें आप देख सकते हैं कि ये जो लाइन ऑफ साइट आपको नजर आ रही है, ये उस बंदे की वजह से है, जो कि जैसे जो राइट वाला जो बंदा है उसकी लाइन ऑफ साइट हमने दिखाने की कोशिश करी है, लेकिन जो लेफ्ट वाला बंदा है वो कैसे देखेगा? जब सूर्य इधर से लेफ्ट से राइट की तरफ आ रहा होगा तो वो कुछ भी देख नहीं पाएगा। जैसे ही सूर्य उस लाइन से क्रॉस होगा तो वो कुछ भी देख नहीं पाएगा, क्योंकि वो उसकी लाइन ऑफ साइट थी।
Remember, from his point of view, that line is pointing at the cloud right here, which looks like it's at the horizon, and he sees the sun going apparently down. It's just going farther away, and it goes beyond where he can see. That is being blocked because this cloud that looks like it's at his eye level is thousands of feet above his eyes, and the sun is just going beyond it.
तो इस चित्र में आप देख सकते हैं कि हमने लेफ्ट वाले बंदे की लाइन ऑफ साइट आपको दिखाई है, और इसमें आप देख सकते हैं जैसे ही वो सूर्य इधर से जा रहा है तो वो क्लाउड्स की वजह से ब्लॉक क्लाउड्स में पीछे चला गया। और जबकि वो असलियत में जो क्लाउड था वो तो भी था, बहुत ऊंचा था, लेकिन वो उसे ऐसा नजर आ रहा था कि वो जमीन से चिपका हुआ है। तो ये तरीका है जिससे हमारी आंखें देखती हैं।
This line is level, but we're looking at it from a terrestrial point of view, right? So let me get back here. So this line is level, and as I move it away, it looks like it's going below. This is high above the camera length. This is a real sunset, okay? It's going beyond the atmospheric deck of opacity, beyond the clouds. It's going beyond it. That's all it's doing. And it's from your point of view that you see it that way. Go ahead.
तो इस चित्र में आप देख सकते हैं कि भाई ये जो लाइन है राइट वाले हमने दिखाया है, सेम हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन है, मतलब सेम हॉरिजॉन्टल लेवल पर है लाइन, और जो बल्ब को हम ऐसा आगे आगे की तरफ ले जा रहे हैं तो सेम, खाली हम सेम हॉरिजॉन्टल लेवल पर रखते हुए उस बल्ब को जो है ले जा रहे हैं आगे पीछे। लेकिन हमें ऐसा ग्राउंड पे जो कैमरा लग रहा है उससे हमें ऐसा दिख रहा है कि जब हम उसे दूर ले जा रहे हैं तो वो असल में नीचे छुप रहा है किसी चीज में, एटमोस्फेयर मतलब किसी चीज में छुप रहा है वो। तो असल में सच्चाई ये है कि वो सेम हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन है, लेकिन नीचे वाले कैमरा एंगल से हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो किसी चीज में छुप रही है।
This is that same horizontal line viewed from a celestial perspective, same height. Go ahead.
तो इससे पहले जो हमने आपको वीडियो फुटेज दिखाया था तो वो ये रस्सी है जो कि सेम हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन है। तो ये जो लाइट है सेम मतलब हॉरिजॉन्टल में चल रही है, सेम मतलब हॉरिजॉन्टल हाइट को मेंटेन करते हुए चल रही है, खाली दूर जा रही है। लेकिन नीचे वाले कैमरा एंगल से हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि भाई, इस कैमरा एंगल से हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि जो लाइट है वो नीचे की तरफ जा रही है, जबकि वो सिर्फ दूर जा रही है।
And so this could be clouds or a mountain or whatever, but this is above it, and we can see that the sun is moving level and never going below it. Go ahead.
तो आप देख सकते हैं कि इसमें हम देख सकते हैं कि भाई जो सन है वो हमने मिमिक करने की कोशिश करी है और वो कभी भी नीचे नहीं जा रहा है, वो सिर्फ दूर जा रहा है। लेकिन नीचे वाला जो कैमरा था उससे हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि वो इन चीजों में छुप गया, जो बोतल रखी हुई है इनके पीछे छुप गया।
Now I have a camera on the counter watching the same thing from a terrestrial point of view.
इसमें आप देख सकते हैं जब इसी सेम चीज को आप नीचे रखा हुआ जो काउंटर पे कैमरा रखा हुआ उससे देखोगे तो कैसा आपको नजर आएगा? बिल्कुल सनसेट की तरह नजर आएगा, जैसे सनसेट हमें नजर आता है कि बिल्कुल सनसेट हो रहा है, लेकिन असल में वो खाली दूर जा रहा होता है।
As it goes away, it now looks like it's going below this. This line looks like it's going down, but it's a level line. This looks like it's at his eye level. It's just going beyond it, and you can't see over it. Everything gets squished into the horizon. to fool you. Good.
हैं कि भाई खाली दूर जा रहा है, लेकिन हमें ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये इसके नीचे जा रहा है, और ये एटमॉस्फेयर डेक हो सकता है पहाड़।
This line is level.
रियल सनसेट होता है।
Sun did the
अब कंपेयर कर सकते हैं आप।
same thing. It's just going behind here. Not going below the curve of the earth. It's just going beyond your horizon.
तो इस वीडियो फुटेज में आप देख सकते हैं सूर्य खाली एटमॉस्फेयर डेक के पीछे जा रहा है, ना कि वो कर्व के नीचे जा रहा है जैसा ये लोग बोलते हैं।
There you go. There's your sunset perspectives lesson for the day.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Do you have my app?
Yeah, I have it.
And they're starting to get some more people in India. Let's take a quick look. My app developers are in India. Not so many yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
We'll get fast.
We need more people to get the app, and let them know that they can find my stuff at flatearthdave.com.
Yeah, definitely. तो ये आप डेव का जो है वो फ्लैट अर्थ डेव पे आप फाइंड कर सकते हैं, और ये प्ले स्टोर पे भी आपको आप डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। और इसमें जब आप इंडिया के सेक्शन में जाओगे, आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग लाइक देन व्हेन यू विल गो इन द इंडियन सेक्शन you can find like this playlist also.
We have some videos. I need more videos. If you want to send videos to add to that list, I'm happy to do that. If you want to make a playlist of the best flat earth videos in India, send me that list and I'll add it to the app.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
I'll do that.
And anything else? We're coming to the end here.
I think it's enough, very much enough for today.
Right. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Beautiful to have you. Beautiful to have you.
For having me.
Awesome.
Keep spreading the good word. Let everyone know that they need to let everyone go. There's a lot of tyranny going on in the world. They're trying a lot of nonsense. And if we're lost in space, spinning out of control, not knowing who we are, not knowing the true power that we have, then we're going to go back into crazy world again. We want to free ourselves from these people that are enslaving us.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। तो देव का ये संदेश है कि भी हमें ये जो प्रोपेगेंडा है इससे फ्री होना है, और इनका खाली जो पावर है इनके पास, जैसे हमें छीननी अपने पास लाने का। Awesome. Great.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having me on. And the last thing, I want to go back to the moon landing. The reason they have all these countries doing their space stuff is to make pride for the country. Because when you have pride for your country that you love, because that's where you live, it's hard to break that spell. And then if somebody goes, that's fake, then you're like, you're a horrible person. And they get us fighting. They want us fighting with each other. That's why they do this. That's why they made it so simple to see that for other people to say that it's fake. And then a lot of people in India that are unaware of the massive deception of the world, then they have us all fighting. That's how they want us. They don't want us coming together like you and I are coming together here. Very important. They want to separate us, right? They want to muzzle us. They want us not being near each other. They want us not talking to each other, because they don't want us finding out that we have the true power.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Great.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Send me a link when you put this up. I'll share it. Okay.
Okay. Definitely.
All right. Have a nice evening.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bye-bye.